You don't know it yet, but tonight is the last night you'll ever be normal. The street looks the same as it always has. Same cracked sidewalk, same buzzing streetlight above the corner store. You've walked this route 1,000 times. Tonight, though, something in the air feels like it's holding its breath. A shape moves faster than anything should move, faster than a person, faster than a thought. 1 second the street behind you is empty, the next it isn't. Your body understands before your mind does, and every hair on your arms stands up at once. Cold hands close around you before you can turn around. A voice like velvet and ice murmurs close to your ear, almost gentle. Don't scream, you'll thank me later. Then teeth. Then nothing. The world just tips over and goes dark. Rank 0, human. Hours earlier, none of this exists yet. You're just walking home, phone in hand, half listening to a podcast, thinking about what you'll make for dinner. Ordinary. Forgettable. The kind of night that never makes it into anyone's story. You cut through the alley the way you always do. It's shorter, and you've never once thought twice about it. Brick walls rise up on either side, familiar and unremarkable, except for the one flickering lamp that's always been a little broken. But tonight, the air feels wrong. Colder than it should be for the season, colder than the forecast promised. Your breath fogs in front of you, and you slow down without quite deciding to, some old animal instinct pulling at the back of your neck. A hand closes around your shoulder from behind, ice cold, impossibly strong, fingers like they could crush stone. You try to turn, try to run, but your body has already stopped listening to you. This is the last thing you will ever remember as a fully human being, kneeling in a dirty alley, head tilted back, a stranger's face close to yours, and a strange calm settling over the panic, like your mind already knows what's coming. Rank 1, the turned. You wake up in an alley, and the world is wrong. Too loud, too bright, too much. Every sound is suddenly a spike through your skull. Traffic 3 streets over, a dog barking somewhere, your own ragged breathing. Your heartbeat, you check for it, over and over, pressing 2 fingers to your throat like it's a mistake you can fix by trying again. Nothing. Not a flutter. Just silence where a lifetime of rhythm used to be. You catch your reflection in a shattered shop window and stare at it for a long moment. You still look like you. Same face, same eyes, except for the faint red glow you swear wasn't there yesterday. Hunger claws up your throat like nothing you've ever felt before. Not the ordinary ache of skipping a meal, but something deeper and stranger. Something that has nothing to do with food at all. An older vampire finds you shaking against a dumpster in the dark, and for a moment you're too disoriented to even be afraid of him. He crouches down slowly, watching you with eyes that have clearly seen this exact night play out before. First rule, he says, voice low and steady, don't feed on anyone you love. You won't be able to stop. It isn't kindness exactly, but it's the closest thing to it you're going to get tonight. Your first night as this new thing stretches out endlessly above a city that no longer feels like it belongs to you. You sit alone on a rooftop ledge, knees pulled to your chest, watching windows that belong to people who still get to be ordinary. Moonlight catches your face at just the right angle, and you see the fangs for the first time. A single tear tracks down your cheek, half grief, half something closer to awe, and you can't tell which one is winning. Rank 2, new blood. Weeks in, and control is a joke you haven't learned to laugh at yet. You crouch on a rooftop edge at dusk, watching the street below with an unfamiliar, predatory focus, feeling your body coil itself for a hunt you never asked to know how to do. You move before you decide to, faster than your own thoughts, a blur of motion down a dark urban alley. It's exhilarating and terrifying in the same breath, like your body has become a stranger who's very good at this. You test your strength almost by accident, gripping a car door just to steady yourself, and it comes away in your hand with a shriek of tearing metal. You stand there holding it, staring at your own fingers like they belong to someone else. Your senses have become both a weapon and a curse. You can hear every heartbeat within 3 blocks, and each one lands in your skull like a whisper you're desperately trying not to answer. You find yourself outside your old house, rain soaking through your clothes, watching warm silhouettes move behind the curtains. Somewhere in there is a life you used to have, close enough to touch, and further away than it's ever been. You turn and walk away before anyone can see you standing there. Every step feels heavier than the last, because some part of you already knows you can never really go back, not as this. So you learn to hold on, white-knuckled, jaw clenched, gripping a metal railing so hard it bends under your fingers, fighting a hunger that never fully goes quiet. And for the first time, you make it until dawn without breaking. It isn't a victory anyone else would notice, but sitting there, exhausted against a brick wall, it feels like the first real thing you've earned since this all began. Rank 3. Vampire. You've survived a year. That alone is rarer than you realize. A sealed black envelope arrives, carried by a cloaked messenger who says nothing and waits for nothing. The elders have noticed you, and they want you seen. You descend a grand stone staircase into a hall lit only by candlelight, the air thick with age and old power. Every step down feels like a step further from anything resembling your old life. The hall opens up before you, a long table, ancient robed figures on either side, and you, standing small at the center of their attention, aware of exactly how little you understand about the world you've just walked into. You kneel, and an elder's hand presses something glowing into your wrist. It burns for a moment, not with pain exactly, but with permanence, a mark that says you belong to something now, whether you asked for it or not. You stand taller once it's done, a new, dark coat settling over your shoulders, like it was always meant to be there. The court nods around you, and for the first time, being one of them feels less like a sentence and more like a title. You learn the first real trick of your kind, bending attention itself, turning your face into something the human eye simply slides past. You walk through a crowded night market and no one looks twice. You test it deliberately now, walking through a crowd with calm, controlled steps, a faint red glow only you can see. Invisibility, it turns out, is its own kind of power. A small, confident smirk finds its way onto your face, city lights reflected in your eyes. Somewhere between the fear and the hunger, something has quietly started to feel like confidence. You stand on a rooftop ledge, coat flowing in the wind, the whole city sprawled beneath you. For the first time since this began, you don't feel like prey wearing a predator's skin. You feel like you belong here. Rank 4. Noble blood. Status changes everything. You kneel before an elder who slides an ornate sigil ring onto your finger, a symbol of territory, of trust, of expectations you don't yet fully understand the weight of. You stand on a rooftop, overlooking a slice of the city that is now, somehow, yours. Yours to feed on, yours to protect, yours to answer for. The weight of it settles differently than you expected, heavier, but not unwelcome. A group of human thralls kneels before you in a dim hall, bound to you by nothing more than a taste of your blood and their own willingness. It's unsettling how quickly command starts to feel natural. You gesture once, almost casually, and they rise to obey without a word spoken. Power, you're learning, doesn't always need to shout to be heard. But nobility means enemies. A rival noble confronts you on a rooftop under a blood-red moon, and the challenge in his eyes leaves no room for diplomacy, only the old way, blade and fang. Steel meets steel, and for a moment it's pure instinct, no thought at all, just the blood moon overhead and a fight neither of you can afford to lose. You take a blow you didn't see coming and drop to one knee, breath ragged, the rival's blade already rising for what should be the final strike. Something in you answers before you can stop it, a surge of power tearing loose, eyes flashing bright red, torn clothing forgotten as you climb back to your feet with an expression that wasn't there a moment ago. You stand over him afterward, breathing hard, and the smile that crosses your face is colder than anything you felt before. Somewhere in that fight, you learn that you don't just survive killing, you can enjoy it. Rank 5. Elder. A century passes in the space of a breath. You stand on a rooftop overlooking a skyline that has been rebuilt twice over since you last really looked at it, and the reflection staring back at you in the glass hasn't aged a day. Old wartime rubble flickers faintly over the modern buildings in your memory, cities you watched burn and rebuild from the same rooftops, over and over, while everyone you knew grew old and left. You stand alone in the rain at a graveyard, head bowed before a stone with a name you loved carved into it. Immortality, you're realizing, means learning to say goodbye more times than any one heart should have to. Your power has changed shape without you quite noticing. You stand in silhouette against a sunrise, testing something you never thought you'd dare, walking, however briefly, into the light again. Your skin steams faintly under the direct sun, jaw clenched hard against the burn, but you don't step back. Endurance, at this rank, has become its own kind of strength. You cross a sunlit plaza in full view of people who have no idea what you are, gritting through visible pain with every step, refusing to let the daylight win completely. You collapse gratefully into a shadowed doorway, smoke still rising faintly from your sleeve, relief washing over you as the burn finally fades. A small victory, but a real one. You raise a hand, and a younger vampire freezes mid-lunge, obedience taking hold instantly. Command at this age doesn't need to be earned in the moment, it's simply assumed. But eternity has a price. Your eyes carry a faint, ghostly overlay of every face you've ever fed on, all of them at once, a weight that never fully lifts, no matter how many centuries pass. You stand alone on a grand stone balcony, overlooking a sleeping city, cape moving gently in the night wind. Some nights, the memory is worse than the hunger ever was. Rank 6, Ancient. The court itself answers to you now. You sit at the head of the same candlelit table where you once knelt as a nervous newblood, and the symmetry of it isn't lost on you. An ornate, ancient-style coat settles over your shoulders as the court bows around you. The fear in the room used to make you uncomfortable. Now it simply feels like the natural order of things. Your lower body dissolves into dark mist without effort, slipping beneath a locked door like it was never there at all. Movement itself has stopped being a limitation. You reform from mist directly behind an unsuspecting target, silent and sudden, before they've even finished their last breath. It's less a power now than a habit. Somewhere across the city, a group of armored hunters studies a wall covered in photographs and red string, and one photo, circled twice, is yours. Humanity's answer to your kind has finally learned your name. They breach your chamber with torches, silver, and daylight lanterns, certain this is the night they end you. You've seen this exact certainty before, on other faces, in other centuries. Steel and light flash through the dark as you move faster than any of them can track, dodging silver and daylight alike with an ease that makes their confidence falter. When it's over, you stand among the fallen with a cold, calm expression. Not triumph exactly, just the quiet certainty of someone who's done this before and will likely do it again. You sit calmly on your throne-like chair afterward, the court whispering in awe around you. Legend, you're starting to understand, isn't something you chase, it's something that simply accumulates behind you. Rank 7, Vampire Lord. You don't have a territory anymore, you have a domain. Standing atop the tallest rooftop, storm clouds gather above the entire skyline at nothing more than your command. You extend a hand, and the shadows across the street twist toward you unnaturally, bending to a will that no longer needs to explain itself. You whisper over a fresh grave, and a pale hand breaks through the soil in answer. Death, at this rank, has become less an ending than a resource. Rows of newly risen thralls kneel before you in the mist, an army built from nothing but your voice and their obedience. Across the city, rival vampire lords gather uneasily around a war table, plotting against you, the first time in 3 centuries the courts have agreed on anything at all. A formal challenge scroll arrives, and you accept it with an expression that suggests you were expecting it long before it came. You stand alone on a bridge, a burning skyline behind you, facing down every lord who thought an alliance might be enough to end you. A shockwave of dark power tears loose from you all at once, and the lords who came so confidently now stagger back, their alliance meaning nothing against what you've become. When the storm clears, you're the only one left standing on that bridge, unshaken, unmoved, exactly as certain as you were before the fight began. Rank 8. Progenitor. There is no council above you anymore. Your eyes glow with an ancient golden red light, a faint bloodline sigil forming in the air around you. You are the bloodline now, not a member of it. Across the city, dozens of distant vampires turn their heads toward you at the exact same instant, every one of them carrying an echo of your blood, your will, your hunger. You walk calmly through full daylight on a rooftop, unbothered, unburned. What once cost you pain and effort has simply stopped being a threat at all. You hold a silver blade in your bare hand with total indifference, almost amused that anything so ordinary was ever meant to hurt you. You climb the side of the tallest skyscraper in the city with the same effort it once took to walk down a street, night air rushing past you as the city shrinks below. You stand at last on the rooftop of the tallest building, the entire city spread out beneath you in tiny, distant lights, a kingdom that has no idea it's yours. For a moment, your expression turns distant, a faint, ghostly memory of the vampire who turned you, flickering somewhere behind your eyes. You look down at the city with a completely calm, hollow expression and understand, finally, the thing he never quite said out loud all those centuries ago. You stand motionless at the rooftop's edge against a vast, starry sky, cape still, the city silent below. This is the final rank, not power, silence. Stinger. You look up, one last time, at a moon that has outlived every version of you, the frightened new blood, the noble, the elder, the lord, all of them gone into whoever you are now. You turn and walk back into the deep shadow at the edge of the rooftop, fading from view without hurry, without looking back. And somewhere below, the city keeps breathing, entirely unaware of everything it just watched happen above it, because that's the only place that's ever really felt like home.